couple of months ago, I made this tutorial where I created a button that played different music. However, someone's now asked how to make that synced, and they want to use it for like a video player, so let's cover how to do that. Now, to avoid confusion, I'll be doing all this completely from scratch, so if you haven't looked at that video, doesn't matter, you can just do it here. I also haven't really looked at how I coded that, so this will be fun. Anyways, to begin with, we first need to know the audio source that is currently playing the sounds or music. So we want to create an audio source, and we're just going to call this target audio source. Oh, Udon. Target audio source. I then want to hit this drop down to make it public, so we're able to see it inside the inspector. So now that we know what audio source we want to play the clip on, we now need to know what clip we want it to play. So for that, I'm going to use an audio clip array. Make sure it's an array. And this will be all the different sounds that we want the audio source to play. So I'm going to call this all sounds. Probably not the best name, but if you have a better one, feel free to put that in. So anyways, now if I just drag and drop these in, now we need to tell our audio source to play our audio clip. So for that, we want to use an audio source. An audio source set clip node. So this will set the clip on our audio source. So we need to tell it what audio source we want it to set the clip on, and then we need to tell it the audio clip. However, this is an audio clip array, so we need to get an audio clip from our array. For those who don't know, an array is just a list of objects, though technically not a list. A list is different to an array in coding, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so for this, we want an audio clip array get node, and this will get an audio clip from our audio clip array. We want to get the first clip from the array, and so we want to leave this int at 0. Remember, this is a coding thing. A lot of stuff starts counting from 0, not 1, due to, I think, binary. And so with this at 0, this means we're getting the first audio clip on our audio clip array. So we plug that into the value slot, and now whenever this node is called, it will change the clip of our audio source to our new audio clip, or the first audio clip on our audio clip array. However, once we change the clip, then we need to tell it to play that sound. And so to do that, we need to, because when changing the clip, it also pauses the music if it's a change, or sometimes if it's not a change. It's a bit weird. I haven't actually looked into it enough. Either way, if you hit play afterwards, it always works. So we can use an audio clip. We want to use an audio source play node, and this will tell our audio source to play whatever audio clip it has on it. And so we just need to tell it what audio source we want to tell it to play, because that is important, otherwise it doesn't know what one needs to play. And once we have that, we now have it so that whenever this node is called, it will tell our audio source to change the clip and then play that new clip. Now we need to say when we want this to play, because currently there's no event attached to this. So we want to use an event interact. Oh geez, can I spell? There we go. An event interact, and we plug that in. And so now whenever we click the button, it will do all this logic. Awesome. However, this will only play the first clip on our audio clip array. And if I was to hit compile and come back into our scene for a little bit, the cool thing about an array is that we can say how many sounds we want it to play. Oh, and I can just put my audio source into here. And so now we've got 5 different clips. Well, should have 5 different clips. There's none here currently. And it will choose the different clips to put in the audio source. But currently, we're only grabbing slot 0. So how can we have it so each time we click the button, it grabs the next one on the array? Well, the easiest way of doing this is to create an int variable. I'm going to call this audio clip index, and this will say what audio clip we want it to play. Now we don't need to make this public or synced, at least for now, and so we just want to drag this in. We then, if this is at 0, we want it to go to 1. If it's at 1, we want it to go to 2. So essentially what we want to do is we want to grab the int, and we just want to add 1 to that to say that we want to get the second one. We can use the int addition node to do that. Now we need to set what the audio clip is, or we need to update the audio clip index. So I'm just going to plug that into a set audio clip index, put that in front of our event interact, put into the set into our set clip. Oh, this is getting a little janky, but that is okay, most likely. And then we want to grab our new value and put that into our audio clip array. So now when you click this button, it will grab our audio clip index, it will add 1 to it, set that as a new value so that next time it will play the next one, and then it will grab that index and tell that audio clip to play that index. However, there is a slight problem here, whereas if we get to the, as we're adding 1 to it, when we get to the end of our audio clip array list, it will then say a value of 6, 7, 8, 9, or whatnot, which is bigger than my current size of my audio clip array. So when that happens, it will cause an error, and that is problematic. The script just completely stops working. So we need to clamp this value, or more importantly, make it repeat so that when we get to a value of 5, it just goes back to the original list. So for that, what we need to do is we need to grab our audio clip array. We then want to use an audio clip array get length node to get the length of this array. Then what we want to do is we could use an int greater than or equal node and check whether or not it's greater than the value of our length, and if so, set our clip audio to 0. But there's actually a cleaner way of doing this that just looks nicer by using an int remainder node, and due to math, whenever we hit the length of the array, this will equal 0. Basically, it's this divided by this, and then instead of what would normally be a decimal, you just grab whatever the remainder of there, for those that know what I mean by that. Anyways, by plugging all that in, now whenever we click the button, it will add 1, but when it gets... Oh, and that goes there, that goes there. I like being clean. But now whenever this value of the int of our index plus an addition is greater than the length of our array, it will reset it to 0, meaning that we'll just go back to the beginning of the list. Awesome. So I actually think that's very similar to what we had for it. If I just come back into the scene, go into the world, let me just find the no button, open up the Udon graph, and we'll see that, did I not do that? Or did I do it over here? Oh, that's right, I did all that carry on. Oh, and I did it afterwards. That's probably wise, actually. No, we're good. For syncing it, you have to do it before anyways. But anyways, so yeah, this is the method that you want to do. However, in our case, we want to make this synced. And so to make it synced, we need to grab our int and make this synced. However, we need to make everyone play this logic whenever it happens. However, only the owner should set this int. Oh, and I should mention there is actually a bit of a glitch here. Or a bug. I wouldn't call it glitch, it's a bug. But whenever we click on our index, or whenever we click on our button and whatnot, it will add 1 to our index. Our index starts at 0, so we'll be adding 1, and so the first value will actually equal 1. And so what we can do here is we can just set our default value to -1. And so therefore the first one it does will add 1 to it. It's a small little thing like that that just really helps. But anyways, what we need to do is we need to... will that cause a problem? Nah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, actually no, okay, hold on. If there is a problem... Oh, wait, no. We'd have to do a check here. Okay, let's do a check, just to be sure. So if we do int equals... And if it equals -1, put our audio clip in here, and then create a branch node by holding down B and clicking. Oh, we should do an int inequality, because they just would look nicer, because we get to use the true. So we can just do a very simple check here just to make sure that our values are within what is allowed. So we can just put that here, put that here. Oh, I missed it. Okay, so now all we're doing is we're just going to check and make sure. I'll just put that up like this. I don't like doing this, but for compactness and whatnot, this will be better. Okay, so now if the value still equals -1, just don't. In fact, just do. If it's less than 0, that would look nicer or make more sense, because then we're checking if it's even lower than that. Either way, it doesn't matter. And so now this will check to see whether or not our int is less than 0 before it playing, just to make sure this isn't going to crash on us. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to make this synced. Now to make this synced, we need to grab this logic and separate it from the rest of it, because we don't want everyone to add 1 to the int. We just want the person who clicked the button to add 1 to the int, and then everyone to sync towards that. I hope that makes sense. So all of this will need to be separated. We then want to grab our index and put it over here. And so now whenever this is called, and we'll make this a custom event. So let's just call custom event, and I'm going to call this sync. Yes, sync int. Look, we don't do it a custom event. That's a dumb way of doing that. I am so sorry. There's a reason this channel is what it is. I want to grab my audio clip index. Hold down Alt to get a node that will play whenever this variable changes. I'm also going to make sure to click Send Change so that this will play for the local player and not just every other player, because we want to hear the music change whenever we click on it. So with that, whenever this value changes, it will play it for everyone else. And so now we've got this fully working locally. Now we just need to sync this. And this would actually work if it's synced, but it will only work for the instance owner, because only the owner of the instance can actually change the can actually change an int variable on a synced. Only the owner of an object can change a synced variable. I got it out. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to whenever we click the button, we need to make ourselves the owner, so that if we're player 2 and whatnot, we can click the button and also change the music. So to do that, we can use a networking set owner node. I'm just going to plug this in here, and then we need to make the local player the owner of the object, and so I'm using a networking get local player and plug that into the into the player slot. And so now whenever we click this button, it will make ourselves the owner, so that we're able to change the synced variable. Then we will update the synced variable to be 1 more than it is. Then when everyone else sees that play, they will check to make sure it's a valid value, and then play this audio clip. Awesome. So I think that's the majority of what we need. However, what if we wanted to, have a button that reduces it by 1 instead of adds by 1? And so I'm actually going to separate this out into some custom events. So I'm going to do custom event, and I'm going to call this add 1 to next clip, and that's going to use this logic. No, let's grab the whole thing. So that's next clip, and then I'm going to copy all this, and I'm going to go previous clip. However, annoyingly, we can't use the remainder node here. So what we want to do is first we want to do int subtraction. I don't know why the camera just moved there. So we use an int subtraction node because we want to subtract 1, not add 1. Then we need to check whether or not we... How does that work? Oh, okay. Then we need to check to see whether or not we are greater than this array. So I'm going to create a branch node, and we're going to use an int greater than or equal to the length. And if we are greater than or equal to the length, we would like, let's put this into here. If we are indeed, then we want to use an int constructor node. Constant. Yeah. Is it constant or constructor? I don't know. Either way, int const node, and set the value to... Oh, no, we're going the other way. We need to go max value. Sorry, my bad. So I'm going to... Wait. There we go. So we want to set it to the max length of the array if our we don't want greater than equal, we want less than, don't we? Because we're going down, so that might go to -1. If it's -1, we want to check whether or not the int is less than 0. Because only if it's less than 0 do we want to reset the value. And if it's greater than 0, we want to use the value that we just got. Sorry, my bad. I haven't done this beforehand. This is all on the fly. So I'm going to put that in there. And so now, whenever this custom event is called, it will make us the owner of the object. It will then -1 from our int index. And if that value is less than 0, then it will set our int index to be the maximum size of the clip to get the last clip in the array. And if it is not, then it will just use whatever, the int index says. Awesome. So now we have our two events, and these can be called from a button. If you just need a simple cube button and whatnot, you can always come into, where is it? VRChat worlds, samples, Udon example seams, Udon program sources, where there's a bunch of example scripts and whatnot. This is all part of the Udon example scene, which is also in here. And we can use send event on interact. This is just a really basic script. So that whenever you click on a cube button and whatnot, it tells an Udon behavior that you set as a variable what event to play, which is just a name of a string. And so for this, in fact, I can give you an example of this. Let's grab our audio button script, and then let's give it this send event on interact script. We would literally, to set this up and whatnot, move you to the side. So this is script 1, script 2. You wouldn't have the audio source on this. You would just have your typical cube plus an Udon behavior. And then you'd give it our Udon behavior, or the object with our Udon behavior, and then the event name. So let's say you wanted this to go back by 1. Then we'd just... Is it this one? Yes, that one. We would just grab our previous clip event. So it's all case sensitive, so just copy it and paste it in here. And so now whenever you click on this button, it will tell this audio source to play this event. So that's just simply how that would work. So now we've got all that, we can get rid of an interact value, and all we can do is just do a send custom event and give it the name next clip or previous clip, whatever one you want it to do by default when you click this button. Though oftentimes I'll make this like a manager object, and it'll just be like an empty object that can be anywhere because that's helpful and whatnot. But yeah, so anyways, so whenever the game starts and whatnot, whenever we click on the button and whatnot, it will play the next clip. It will set us as the owner, and then it will add 1 to it. And over here, it will set us as the owner, and it will subtract 1 to it. And then whenever any these values change, we've got the send change on all this, so it works locally, and we have this synced for everyone else, so it was global. Whenever this value ever changes and whatnot, it will play the new audio clip. Can actually do a little bit of improvement here. Currently we've got this on continuous sync, but realistically you're not going to be changing the music playing 4 times a second. Which I believe is the update rate. I think it's like 4.5 times a second is what continuous is. But anyways, if we add a request serialization node on the end of all of these, so whenever the syncing changes, by the way, it's shift spacebar to quickly full screen. So I'm just going to put a request serialization after every single synced change. Now that we have that, we can put this in and change this from continuous to manual. This will have 2 advantages actually. One of it is that it's a whole lot less networking information, but the second one is that this will result in just a lot faster transition, because you don't have to wait for the continuous cycle to come around before it will sync. So that was basically what I wanted to do. The last thing I wanted to do actually, now that I remember, is that I want to do a randomize function. So what if we just want to click a random one and we also want that to be synced? So I'm going to create a custom event. I'm going to call this randomize clip. Now it'll work. This is all internal anyways, no one sees that. Provided you understand what it is fine. Just make sure it is something that you will intuitively understand for future self for you when you've forgotten what you did. But anyways, what we want to do is we want to grab the length of our array. We then want to use a random.range node. We put this into the exclusive. Now, the way this value works is that it grabs the 0, 1, and up to, but not including, the last result. And so that's brilliant because length is always one more than what can actually go into the array. Because the array starts counting at 0, but the length counts starting at 1. Amazing, I know. Actually, I think it is for this reason they've kept this like terminology and whatnot, because it just means that some of the stuff is so much cleaner. But anyways, whenever this event is called, it will make us the owner. It will then grab our length and whatnot, and then it will randomize that value. However, there is one caveat here, and I've just realized this. We're going to run into an issue where if the sound is the same as what it is before, the int value hasn't changed at all. So therefore it won't play. So we do actually need to do something a little different here. So I'm going to untick send change so it doesn't play for the local player. Then I'm going to get rid of the request serialization, and I'm just going to do a send custom networked event. Now, we should probably do the old one. That would be so much easier in Udon Sharp than Udon Graph. Okay, let me think. Okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to check whether or not our, before we set the audio clip index and whatnot, we want to check whether or not there's the same value. So what we want to do is we want to grab our audio clip array. We're going to do an int equals node. And if these two equal each other, instead of setting the value, which we do want to reinitiate send change, and we also want to regrab our serialization. Sorry, Control D, not Shift D, and put that there. Okay, so what we want to check is whether or not these are the same value. Because if they are the same value, then all we need to do is just tell everyone to play this again. So for that, I want to use a branch node. I'm going to plug that in here. And if these do equal, we want to play a send custom event. And if they don't equal, we want to set the audio index and just do what we were doing before. So I'm going to put that down here, grab you. Actually, no, I do want you there. I just want you. You can go there. You go there. I'm going to grab use and put you there. And that's going to make that. How do I clean this up? I love this kind of cleaning stuff and whatnot. I know I'm wasting your time. I'm sorry about that. Let me put this here, this here, this here. Much better. Okay, I can feel happy now. Oh, and if I put that bit up to give a bit of separation from that and that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that whenever this event is called, we're going to make the local player the owner of the object. You can go up there and there. Yay! Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our audio clip array, and we're going to create a random value. If those values equal the same, this bool will equal true, which will make this branch node play the true node, which will make us play the send custom networked event. If it is false, it'll make us instead just do the logic we did before for all the other ones, and just update what that event is, and that will make the on index change. So now we just need to create a custom event for this. So I'm just going to grab my custom event. I'm going to duplicate it down here, plug it into here, which sometimes they say you shouldn't do, but I don't care. And I'm just going to say, what are we going to call this? Update. Play new clip. That will work. Awesome. So I'm going to grab the play new clip, and I'm going to hit compile and reload. And now we see play new clip as a networked event that we can now call. So whenever this event calls, if these values are the same, it will come, this bool will equal true, and then it will tell our networked event to tell all players to play this event, which will make them play this logic. Awesome. So that should all work, and that should be everything that you need to do. So this one over here, we can create a group and call that play next clip. We've got this one over here, which we can create a group, and we can call this play previous clip. I hope that's how you spell previous. And I'm going to create a group here, and I'm going to call this play random clip. Now, what if we wanted to play a particular event? Because currently we've only got, play next, play previous, and play random. What if we wanted to play, the clip number 1, 2, 3, or 4? Well, that is a bit harder to do in Udon Graph, actually. But we can do it. It is possible. We just need to do a bit more logic on the button itself. So I'm actually going to make this public, this index, and that way other scripts can see what the index value is, because we left it private because we didn't want anyone to see it or anything like that. And this might cause problems like user error and whatnot. In Udon Sharp, you can hide that value. So you can make it public but not show in the inspector. But anyways, if we wanted to do that, we can do that. I'm just going to click on this button here. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to create let's just duplicate it. Why not? And I'm going to call this select music. And we're going to open up the Udon graph. Now, obviously, this one's going to look identical, but that is okay. What we want to do is we want an Udon behavior. This is, don't go target. Let's go music manager. And it should really be sound manager. Most people will be using this for music, realistically, for a game, for VRChat world, so I'm going to choose that. And do we need anything else? Oh, yeah, we do. We need int. And then we're going to call this target music slot. Let's do that. I'm just going to delete these two because we don't need those. I'll keep the other one just so we can Actually, no, simplicity. Okay, so when we click on the button, we need to change. The program variable. Oh, it's okay. This is what we're going to do. So whenever we click this button, we want to call our random music script, and we want it to we want to change the index that's on it currently, and then we want it to play the new clip. So in order to do that, first we need to be the owner of that object. So I'm going to use a networking set owner node. The owner is going to be the local player, but then the object actually is the one that contains the Udon behavior. Can you get the game object? No, that's another Udon Sharp feature. Okay, I'm actually not going to use. What's easier? Okay, no, this will be fine. Let's just call music manager, and this will be a game object variable, not Udon thing. Anyways, then we can use a game object get component node. Wait, no, we're not doing that right now. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. Okay, so here we have, whenever we click this button, it will grab the local player and make us the owner of the music manager game object. Then what we need to do after that is we need to change what the current index is on our random music. So this will be the one that we actually want to go to, and we want that to equal our target music slot. Then once we've got that, then we need to tell it to update the event. And we can do that by, actually what we did here, send custom networked event. So let's do that. Where is it? F? Okay, there we go. You can press F to full screen. If you've got something selected, it will put it. Yeah. Anyways, so what we want to do is we want to grab our game object and we want to put it into a game object get component node, component string type. Then we're going to use a type Udon behavior, and this will mean, and so now whenever this node is called, it will grab our game object and get the Udon behavior component from that is on that object. If it doesn't manage to find one, it will crash, so be aware of that. In fact, we can put an isValid node here, and they'll just check that this is valid. And if it's not, we can do a debug log error. String constant, and then we go, what do you call this? Select music. Select music. Game object. Select musics. music manager didn't have an Udon behavior on it. And a bunch of exclamation marks. Okay, that should help. And so basically what we're doing here is like, hey, look, if it failed to find the object, give us an error message because we need to make sure that we know about that. Instead of it just not working, you've been confused as to why. Just simple stuff like that. But if we do find an object, if this is a valid game object, we then want to use an Udon behavior set program variable. And so this will set it will set what the program variable is. So we put our instance slot in there. The symbol name, we want to use a string constant node. Come to our random music and grab our audio clip index, because that's the program variable that we want to change. So I'm going to paste that in there and then put that in. So what we wanted to do is we want it so that whenever this node is called, it will tell the game object that is on our music manager to change the program variable, which is the index, and then we need to set what value we want that to be, which is just our target music slot value. How nice. Cool. And so now once we've got that, we now okay, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So now that we've got the program variable, we need to tell it to play the networked event. So we want to create an Udon behavior networked event, not send custom networked event, say the whole thing. We want it to be on that Udon behavior, so the randomized music Udon behavior, which is the one that's on our music manager. And we want to target all, and then we need to give it the event name. So the event name, using a string constant node, we want to grab play new clip, because it's the event that we want to call that's on the random music that will update everyone. And so we're going to put that in here as a string and plug that into the event name. And so now, in summary, gosh, this looks ugly. What did I do? Quick pause. Okay, that's marginally better. And so now in summary, when we click on our button, it will set us to be the owner of the music manager object. We'll then make sure, then we'll grab our music manager object and grab its Udon behavior that's on that object. And first we're just going to check whether or not that exists. If it does exist, we're going to do our logic. But if it doesn't exist, we're just going to send an error message saying, hey, look, we failed to find one. But if it does find one, then what we're going to do is we're going to grab that Udon behavior and we're going to set a program variable, which is going to be our audio clip index variable, and set that to be our new target music slot. And then what we're going to do is we're going to send a custom event on our randomized music game object to play the new clip, which is what we made for the random clip. And it will just make all this logic play and play the clip for us. So you can just add this onto every single cube button that you want. And if you want to put this on like a UI interaction, it would just be, you just create a send custom event. No, not a send custom event. You just want to create a custom event and call it something like on click and paste it in. And so, and then you just tell the UI on the button to play the on click event on the script attached to it. Simple things like that. Anyways, so this should be put on every single button, and so you can create buttons that have a particular event that a particular slot that they will target when you click them. Awesome. So hopefully you found this helpful. Feel free to like if you liked it. Leave a comment down if you got any questions, though I don't know if I'll be answering many questions on this secondary channel. But anyways, maybe someone will help you. But I'll see you again next time. Bye!